Hey folks, how's it going? Today I'm talking about my top 5 favorite cartoons of 2020. It was a weird year. All right, let's get into it. Number 5, Hell of a Boss. Yeah, right out the gate, I am throwing a curveball at you. Is it curveball or curb-ball? I don't know sports. Okay, Hell of a Boss. It was done by Vivian Madrano and her team. I'm a big fan of this squad because it is from a team of online creators. Folks who don't belong to a massive studio. What we see here is passion and gumption and just the talent of getting it all done. And in that regard, massive fan. I want to sing the praises of online creators and keep pushing them on this medium because I think it will definitely shape the 2020s. There's a couple of other shows that I will give shout outs to in my Animation 2021 video who are kind of doing the same as Viv and her team. But okay, aside the point, Hell of a Boss is more of a slice of life comedy compared to Has Been Hotel. It had its pilot episode that came out in 2020, and then it had 2 episodes that were also released in 2020. And that is goddamn impressive. Animation is not easy. It is very demanding and complicated. It takes a long time. The fact that this team was able to do a pilot and 2 episodes in the same year, I know it wasn't produced in the same year, but at least released, wow, I'm impressed. I like the characters and the comedy. I'm a big fan of the visuals. I like the setting of hell. I'm a sucker for like Doom and a lot of hell setting things recently, but considering how hellish of a year 2020 was, seems appropriate. But all in all, Hell of a Boss, good show. I think it's neat that they're releasing it on YouTube for free. Maybe they might get picked up by a streaming service. I know that Has Been Hotel, that was the case for them. I think it was like A24 who picked them up. That's really neat. Here's to the online creators getting a platform and pushing their content here in the 2020s. I think it'll be a big decade for that. Number 4, Kipo and the Age of Wonder Beast. Man, this show moved fast. It had 3 seasons, and all 3 seasons were released in 2020. It was done by DreamWorks Netflix. It's 2D animated. It's about the future of Earth, how things went to hell, and a bunch of mutant animals evolved, where there's like anthro cats and snakes and birds and frogs, and there's also these mega mutant creatures that are like massive bunny rabbits or dogs. So humanity has been forced to live underground. Again, I'm a big fan of the post-apocalyptic settings like Mad Max and whatnot, so I was here for it with Kipo. It was a bit more colorful than Mad Max, well, of course, a bit more happy-go-lucky. It had a bit of an Adventure Time charm to it, or at least that's what it seemed like to me, because Adventure Time itself is also in a post-apocalyptic setting where humans nuke themselves to hell. Here in Kipo, I don't think they ever actually reveal what happened. It was like some chemical stuff that went wrong, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I think I'm forgetting what caused the actual downfall of humanity, but it did fall. And we follow Kipo and Wolf and a fun cast of characters who are fleshed out, and we see them trying to figure out how can we befriend these mutants? How can we confront the foes of this world? We thought it was this one guy named Scarlemagne. Turns out it's this other human who wants to wipe out mutants named Amelia. We see the relationship between humanity and these mutants. Kipo reminds me of, funny enough, of Steven Universe, where she's like, I will not fight a war. I think we can also be peaceful and have mutants be friends with each other and also with humans. The first season was great. Second season was great. Third season kind of lost me a bit. I won't lie. It felt like it was a soft conclusion. I was expecting more. Felt a little bit too dull to me. That being said, I wouldn't call it bad. The visuals are fun. I like the world. The music is outstanding. The music of Kipo is unreasonably good. I listen to it all the time. It's great. So all in all, Kipo was a good step in the right direction. I want to see more original shows like that. And a quick shout out to Glitch Tex as well. Did make it on my list, but still a very good original show with great visuals and great characters. Number 3, Adventure Time Distant Lands. HBO Max took these TV specials and they bought the rights and they released the episodes onto HBO Max. There were 2 specials that came out this year. I think there will be 4 in total. One was called BMO and the other one was called Obsidian. BMO is unsurprisingly about BMO. It was like taking place on a different planet. BMO is seeing like this bunny girl. We see, I'll be real with you, the BMO special was meh to me. I didn't really care for the BMO special. It was okay. I was here for the Obsidian special with Bubblegum, with Marceline. That took place because these is like an anthology series where these different episodes take place in a variety of time frames or time periods for Adventure Time, where it's like it's before the show, it is during the show, it is after the season finale. Obsidian was after, and we get some background on Marceline as a kid, her mother, how Marceline became the person that she is, how she grew past it with Bubblegum's help, how they heal and grow and grew closer as a couple. I love Marceline and Bubblegum as a couple, by the way. I think they're one of the best well-told relationships when it comes to LGBT stuff. Doesn't feel pandering, feels fleshed out and organic to me. And yeah, I thought that was a nice way to wrap them up. Because like in the finale with Marceline and Bubblegum, I'm like, they're kissing. Okay, I guess we're done with that. Obsidian felt like, okay, we're gonna revisit it one more time and really wrap it up with a nice bow on top. Also, we got to see old Finn. He's like in his 20s now. Got a Jake tattoo. Makes me scared that Jake's probably dead. Oh no. We also see Bronwyn, who I think is Jake's granddaughter. All in all, Obsidian was great. Fun visuals on top of that. I recommend it. I look forward to seeing what they do with the other two specials. Number 2, Close Enough. J.G. Quintel, I missed you. So for those who don't know, Quintel did Regular Show, a cartoon that was on Cartoon Network. It ran for like 6 or 7 years. It's about a bluebird named Mordecai, a raccoon named Rigby, and all of their friends and coworkers working at this park, and how they start off their days doing normal stuff and how things would go flying off the rails. It's a good show for folks who are like in their early to mid 20s, because you're like at that stage of life where it's like, okay, I'm done with high school, done with college. What am I doing now? I guess I'm just kind of working. You're caught between that awkward phase of needing to become more responsible, but not really sure how to do that. You still want to play video games and party with your friends. So I was in my mid-20s when it came out, so it really spoke to me. Also, wonderful characters, some of my favorite that Cartoon Network ever provided. I thought the story was satisfying at the end, and just overall, Regular Show is one of my favorites. So when Close Enough was announced, and that was stuck in production hell, because it was supposed to come out on TBS, then it got moved to HBO Max, finally. And that show is about your 30s, where it's like, okay, I'm a parent now. I got a job, a career, trying to balance the work and family life. You're making that transition of being done with your 20s, and now you're a full-fledged adult. The training wheels are off. The world looks at you as a autonomous adult, and these individuals are still kind of unsure about it. They struggle with like, wow, we're old now. There's an episode that cracks me up where 3 of these 30-year-olds went to a bar and they party super hard, and they're like, we did it. We partied till midnight. And it's like, psych, it's only been 15 minutes. And they're like, oh no, I don't want to be here. And that relates to me, where it's like in my 20s, I can go to a party and just go. Versus being in my 30s, which I'm 32, it's like, nah, I'd rather stay at home with a glass of wine and watch the Great British Baking Show, which, hey, that's comfortable. Close Enough is good discussing about that transition of being in your 30s, of having kids. And then there are those who don't have kids, which there are characters who represent that, because I don't have kids. It speaks on a level that feels like, wow, like you're speaking to my essence. I get it, because I'm living it right now. The visuals are very true to Regular Show, competent and fun. I love the stories. You get this outlandish craziness that Regular Show did, they do here, and just overall a good time. I've rewatched it 3 times, and every single time I enjoy it. So yeah, Close Enough. Good stuff. I look forward to seeing more of it on HBO Max. All right, so honorable mentions. We got the Animaniacs reboot, which was very close to getting on my list. We got Owl House with Luz, my favorite character. Luz. There's the Wonderful World of Mickey. That's great. Loving that so far. I look forward to seeing more. Blood of Zeus, which visually was solid, not amazing. They call it an anime, but I'm like, I don't really see it. Story was a bit dull, but I will give it props for being a new property that Netflix wanted to push. Bold strokes. I want to see more new stuff. Keep it up. There's the Looney Tune cartoons on HBO Max. Those were fun. And then there's a show that I did not watch, but I do want to give a shout out to. It's called The Midnight Gospel. That is from Pendleton Ward. I did not watch it because I struggle with existential dread. It can just completely derail my day and put me in a really dark place. So I'm a coward. And my buddy Paleo, he watched it. He's like, oh yeah, they talk about death a lot in that. And I'm like, I'm gonna hold off. I gotta be in a better place mentally to watch this. But I've seen the visuals and they look great. It's a very abstract show. It's based like on a podcast. It's like visuals provided for a podcast. I need to do more homework about it, but I do want to at least acknowledge it. By the way, I saw Japan Sings. That was something I was excited about, and I watched it, and it felt like, I don't know, did not care for it. Could have been much better. It was weird visuals at times. A neat concept because it's about Japan sinking into the ocean, and it's basically like representing Japan being baptized and out with the old and then in with the new, plus continuing on with the things that make Japan great, but also washing away the sins of Japan. And I don't know, it sounds so much cooler than what it actually was. I've got issues with it. Oh, and there's Alien Worlds, which is maybe like 20% animation, if even that. Extendo monkey arms, flesh sack creature, aliens that are weird looking, futuristic GameCube alien creature. It was a weird show. Could have been better. But number one, my favorite show of 2020 is a show that actually started in 2019 with 5 episodes, but was completed in 2020 with the last 5 episodes of the show, and that is Primal. I can't stop singing the praises about this show. It is one of the best things I've ever seen. It's about a world of dinosaurs and giant bugs and these gorilla creatures and woolly mammoths. It's like a primeval world of creatures and toughness and blood and cruelty and nature who's indifferent to your entire existence. And you have to be strong to survive. And in this story, we follow Spear, a caveman who's resourceful, kind, and tough. And then we have his pet T-Rex, Fang, who is sparky. It feels like just a dog hanging out with his caveman. In the first 5 episodes, we see how Spear loses his family. Fang loses her kids. The two of them team up, and then they just make their way out into the world. They're just trying to survive. And they run into an assortment of creatures. In the first half of the 5 episodes, you got like a woolly mammoth, you got like a giant spider creature and bats and whatnot. But I know it's kind of weird where folks are like, you're including the second half of a show that started in 2019. Yeah, I am, because I feel like this show deserves it. It is, to me, one of the greatest things to come out recently in animation. No dialogue, well, except for like one line, but it's practically just visual storytelling told very effectively. Beautiful settings and wonderful fluid animation with fight scenes. They know they can't use words, so they have to rely on facial expressions, which, I mean, the facial expressions of Spear are just top notch. You see it in his eyes, you see it in his face. It really does go to show you that like these emotions are universal. You don't need to speak English or Spanish or any language. You can just watch and you can tell what's going on. In the last 5 episodes, there was one in particular that stood out to me as one of the greatest cartoon episodes I've ever seen in my life. It's called Plague of Madness, and it's about this sauropod, a long neck, who got infected by this disease and became a zombie. And to me, it's one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen. I typically don't think zombies are scary, but in this regard, to see a giant long neck just lose its absolute mind and pursue Spear and Fang, it was terrifying. Like, wow, this force of nature won't stop chasing you until you're dead. And to see it in a long neck was different because I typically associate, oh, it's a big, peaceful, lumbering giant. And it's like, not here. Nope, it is unhinged. It wants you dead, and it doesn't even know why. It just wants you dead at all costs. There's no self-preservation for this creature. It just wants to kill you. And you can see the fear in Spear and Fang's eyes where they're like, we got to get out of here. That episode is like one of the best. I highly recommend it. But we get to the end of season 1, and we actually get a bit more of a strong narrative of what's going on, where Spear meets another humanoid. It's a girl, and he helps her out, and the show reveals that there's like an advanced society, more advanced than a caveman, but they're stealing people away and like enslaving them. And this girl ran away, and Spear freed her, but then she gets recaptured, and now it's like, oh no, can Spear and Fang save her? So that's where we're going with season 2. And what's really neat is the show ends on the first bit of dialogue that the show ever says, and that's powerful. So yes, Primal, Gendy Tartakovsky, he did Samurai Jack, Dexter's Lab, he did Hotel Transylvania. He's working on a show called Unicorn here soon for HBO Max, but I cannot wait to see what they do in season 2 of Primal. It is, I will say it again, like the 4th time, one of the best things that come out recently for animation. Please check it out. And yeah, those are my overall thoughts for cartoons of 2020. Had some good stuff that came out. I think this next year is going to be even stronger because the streaming services are dumping so much money into animation right now. We'll see some truly fantastic stuff. So tell me what you all think in the comments. Was I right? Was I wrong? Am I dumb? Of course, let me have it. And I'll see you all next time.